Why should busy professionals make time for a
Mm,
fantasy novel like The Jester's Grin?
Great question. Thank you so much. Um, I really think because fiction gives your brain a chance to think sideways. And sideways thinking is how we start to enact real change. That's how real change happens. When you have an opportunity to step into a well built imaginary system, you have the opportunity to distance yourself from your own. And then you get to notice patterns. That might be how power concentrates, how normal becomes numb, how small compromises stack up until they're all of a sudden policy. The Jester's Grin is about what happens when safeguards fail quietly, when the system doesn't explode so much as just kind of shifts. And that's really painfully modern and relevant to modern work because burnout gets labeled as resilience. Bad incentives can look like efficiency. Cultures reward silence and they call that professionalism. We've all seen that before. So I don't really think of this as a break from reality so much as a different angle on reality.
What do you hope readers take back into their real lives?
Um, Better questions and the courage to sit with those questions, as well as to sit with the answers before reaching for solutions. So things like, what am I protecting, and is it even the right thing? Did I inherit these systems that I've never examined, and perhaps I should examine these. You know, I'm protecting and I'm holding up these systems, and perhaps I should take a step back and examine the systems that I'm holding up and protecting. Where am I calling things fine because calling it anything else would be controversial? It might cost me something in the short run, but it might actually fix something in the long run. But I'm just saying it's fine because that's maintaining the status quo. What am I avoiding naming because it will make it real if I name it? So those kind of things. I know we do that a lot. I've certainly been a part of that in the workplace. If we just ignore it, maybe it'll go away. Fantasy, I don't think is again, I don't think it's about escape. It's really rehearsal. It lets you practice clearly in a world that has higher stakes and sharper symbols so that when you go back into your own life and you get to experience those stakes and symbols there, you can see more clearly what you've been minimizing.
If you could place this book into someone's hands at work, who would it be?
Probably the person who has been holding it together with duct tape and competence. You know, the person who's been doing it with their head down and just getting it done in silence. That single point of failure who doesn't complain or maybe does grumble every now and then, but doesn't much, and just gets it done. The person that everyone relies on to handle it and just doesn't want to be difficult. Because this book is in part about the cost of being that safeguard. And then I would also say that person's boss. So the CEO, the manager, whoever is in charge of that person, because it's what happens when that goes away.
What's one line of thought you would hope lingers after the last page?
If the system requires my silence to function, it does not deserve my loyalty. That is probably not going to make you super popular, but it's good leadership. Good leaders should want to be questioned. They should want to be kept honest, and that's where good leadership really starts.
The storykeeper's daughter, the jester's grin, is a reminder that stepping into something else can be exactly what helps you see your own world more clearly, especially if you're doing work where people, decisions, and consequences are real.